All right. Boom. We're here, motherfucker.
We're here. It's about damn time.
That's right, sir. We were talking about history.
Yeah.
And how easy it was, for the most part, to kind of grasp that shit.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's because...
Well, if you like it.
If you like it.
If you're a fan of it.
Right. But that's with everything. If you're a fan of it, you're going to grasp it.
Absolutely.
Right. What, I had a friend, or I have a friend, he's becoming a lawyer, but he graduated with a degree in Islamic history for whatever reason. But he's like Irish Catholic kid, you know what I'm saying?
I was just going to ask you, what's his background?
Yeah, exactly. He's an Irish Catholic kid. He went to Providence College. He's been on the show a bunch of times. And he...
what's his name?
James Fanning.
I see his episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he, for whatever reason, he knew he was going to be a lawyer. He knew he was going to go to law school, but he's like, while I'm undergrad, I just want to learn mad history.
Yeah.
And that's like his thing.
Well, no. I like that's interesting because it's like I would do so. To be honest, I'll be selfish. I'll be like, hey, if I'm this smart, yeah, I want to learn history. I take some classes, but I get a degree where I could just make some money, buku money, until I start law school.
Right.
But did he go directly or?
No, yeah, he went right over directly. Right.
So this is my take on this. When it comes to history, I want to revert back now a little bit. Mm-hmm. I was telling you how, like, growing up, I never had to study it.
Sure.
I just asked a question. Part of gaining knowledge and I feel wisdom in life is learning history. Think about it. Every smart person you know knows something about history.
Right.
Because do you come away from the conversation like, I didn't know this?
Every time.
Every time.
Every time I speak to him, that motherfucker's teaching me something.
The old heads, right?
Yeah.
They say, like that picture over there, Muhammad Ali.
Right.
That piece, do you know the story behind the picture?
It was a phantom punch. Supposedly, that's one of the stories behind it. But what do you learn? What are you talking about?
I'm averting to this shot itself.
All right.
So the shot with him over the guy.
Yeah.
If you look in the background, you see a cameraman, right? Uh-huh.
All right.
Look, point to his left. If I'm not mistaken, one of those two guys, it was their apprentice across the shot right here that took this historic pic.
Oh. See, I think I have a photographer friend. I think he told me something about that.
Yeah.
I forgot it. Yeah.
And sometimes, like, you tell me, what were you going to say?
No, that's all I was going to say.
Yeah, but so from what I heard and from what I watched in the documentaries, right?
Yeah.
This guy that took this picture was on the other side. And he was some kind of big magazine or whatever, newspaper illustrator.
Right.
Picture guy. And so they at the match. I watch boxing. I'm not knowledgeable about it. I like to learn more. But I like it. But anyway, so he says, hey boss, he's talking to the guy, and I'm making this part up. This is paraphrasing, but he tells the guy, he goes, I don't think we're gonna get a good shot from here. Why don't we move around? Maybe it's gonna be better because this fight is just on the other side. We're not getting any action. The guys, berates him. Hey, what do you know about photography? I'm your tutor, this and that, blah, blah, blah. So he says, okay, moves around and stays there just as he finishes setting up. And that happens.
Right.
Takes the click. And just so happens the background of the best picture he took of his career, his tutor that doubted him.
It's everywhere, yeah.
Right back there.
A story like that should it should inspire people not to be so close-minded.
Yes.
Because the person that has think of all the ideas that we have now. Mm-hmm. Somebody thought that motherfucker was crazy. That light up there. Before that, what are you going to do? We don't need candles? We don't need what? We can see without the sun? Are you fucking kidding me?
Tesla, bro.
Yeah.
People thought he was a nuthead.
Exactly. Everything. I mean, sometimes I think what happens is sometimes guys get wrapped up in the school that they came from, the school of thought that they came from. That guy said no because this is the right side for whatever reason. And he was so close-minded to the fact that maybe on this side you could get a better picture that he missed out. And now he looks like a fucking idiot because the kid who was supposed to be teaching just surpassed him with one move.
The student became the master.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, but listen, that happens even with like between parents and us sometimes.
Right.
Like they see us as like they would teach us things and we receive everything. But maybe the way we apply them is different.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
And they're frustrated by that. They're like, "Ah, shit! Look at this kid.
Right.
You know, he's fucking it up." and then boom, and they finally see what you've been doing and what you've been up to.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh wow,
That's pretty cool.
That's what's up, yeah." And they're the first people to like brag about you.
Right.
You know.
Right.
It's cool. Like that comes from just wanting to think for people. You know, when you're with somebody and you raise them or whatever, you spend time with them, you start caring for them, you want to think for them too, because you don't want them to make a mistake.
Right.
You know, you see them, you're like, oh, what you're doing here, maybe I've lived it. Don't do this. But sometimes the kid's got to stub his toe.
That's right. That's 100% right. I've been, an advocate for that.
Yeah.
That sometimes, I don't plan on being a parent anytime soon. Maybe one day. Not no time soon,
Not
motherfuckers.
no time soon, no.
But from my view, it feels like you can't, it comes to a point you can't do everything for your kids. Like you can't think of them, you can't coddle for them, or else, because if they embrace that, they're never going to grow themselves. You know what I'm saying? If you even give them the option.
You handicap them.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Teach them about life, about religion, about love, all the right things, right? And really apply it.
Right.
Not in a way where you're beating down on them, but kind of feeding them this information. At least this is my take.
Right.
That's the kind of parent I want to be. You know, just feed them what you learned.
Right.
But don't pressure them.
It's true. I think it's once they start getting into specifics, because no human's specific. You have to go to school. You're gonna get a good job when you graduate. That's it, motherfucker. That's what you're doing.
It's like a rail, and everybody has to be like in the rail and just moving towards that.
But then you get older, and you're like, what do I got to go to school for? I don't want to learn about any of that shit. You know? Well, look at all these people graduating, not getting jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like, why don't I just go start something myself or go some other route?
Make some money, save up, and then go into something, you know?
Yeah.
And it's important to have a support with that too.
Right.
You know, enough support, enough love, around you.
Right.
And when you're in a place sometimes where you're not always there, it takes time to get there for you to be like, hey, maybe I don't have to worry about what Peter and Paul says.
Sure.
Fuck what Peter and Paul says.
Anyway.
Yeah, it does. You know what I mean? Like, how about this? Let me try to figure this shit out as I go.
Right.
Our speed is different. Our paths are different. Our ways of living are different. Our priorities are different. Our lives are different. You could be in the same space as somebody, but you still live in different lives. You might be together.
Yeah.
But you live in those lives together, but you gotta go to work this way. She's gotta go to work that way.
Right.
Even if you're roommates, you gotta go do your own thing. And so when you learn that it's okay to look out for you and just take those steps as slow as they may be, but as long as you're making them, right? You're making those moves towards your goals. You'll be okay. That's just the way of life I learned.
Right.
And you learn a lot along the way.
And that's what happens back to my, circle back to my initial point of the specifics. If you just teach your kid, hey, pick a goal and work toward it, all right, that's vague. You can put anything in there. I want to be an NBA player. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a
Don't
chef.
be a quitter.
Don't be a quitter.
That
Another
should
one.
Be, the message. I think. Right.
But it's a good one because it's vague and you can as a child or as a person growing up, I feel like you can take that in because you can throw different things in there, whatever you try. Because I feel that people should be multifaceted.
Learn about everything.
I feel like it's strange.
Or as much as you can.
I feel like the mindset is strange for a person like an athlete who's been able to focus on something for a very, very, very long time, and that's the only thing they know how to do. So much so to the point you see 50-year-old boxers get back in the ring because they don't know how to make money any other way. You know what I'm saying?
And they get embarrassed. And it's sad to see.
Oh, yeah, bad.
It's sad well, that also, it comes to putting the right people around you.
Oh, yeah,
big time. And part of being wise in life, I feel, is finding people that will always push you to do the right thing.
Yes.
That will always care for you. You know what I mean? If you have people that truly care for you, they will never see you do something like that. They will never see you fail. Honestly.
They wouldn't set you up to fail.
No.
Right.
And they'll be honest with you. When you're messed up, and they'll say, hey, man, you're fucked up.
Right.
Get your shit together.
Yeah.
You know? And it's important to have that. And some of them lose those people because a lot of people let money get to their head.
Right.
When you have money, people come around.
It's an X factor.
It's an X factor.
It's something else. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Think about the people that were around when you had nothing.
And listen to what they're telling you.
Yeah.
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 Because they know you better than anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And think about what you went through, honestly.
Right.
If you've needed somebody and they've been there for you when you have nothing, it's one of the most honest relationships.
Yes.
Especially when they do it because they love you. You know what I mean?
Right.
When they do something for you because they truly love you and they just want to see you succeed, see you do well in life, that's deep.
Right.
It might be a simple deed. Simple deed.
Makes a big difference.
It makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And so if you lose sight of those people when you're up, man, God's going to smite you.
Right.
Especially when you leave them behind. I'm a big believer in that. If I make it big in life, and I truly believe that, I may be a millionaire someday.
Oh, shit.
Listen.
Say it. Say it.
I hope we all
Speak it
make
into
it.
existence,
and it's not even about... speaking into existence, yes, amen.
Right.
But it's not even about making it, because I've said this a million times, and I'll say it again. I will be one of those millionaires if I want to need to get on my bike to go to the store, because I only need like maybe a water, I don't know, something, just
Don't
to get
pull
out of the
car
house.
Fuck it.
A random errand.
Yeah.
And it's not far, and I can hop on my bike and go. Why not?
Sure.
Am I better than a bike now because I have millions of dollars? I could have.
You're gonna have a nice motherfucking bike, though.
Yeah, exactly. You know, for some electric motors and that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Hell yeah.
those rolling rovers, you're comfortable, but
Right.
I like the exercise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Me too. Me
I
too.
like to be out and about.
That's what it's
when I'm
for.
inside, I'm miserable.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I truly believe I'll be one of those millionaires that would still ride my bike. You
Right.
know, and going back now a little bit, it's not about just making it for me. I feel like when you have enough in life, it's important to give. Especially if you have enough to share.
Right.
And so when you're blessed with so much fortune, it should be only normal that you help others that don't have it.
Well, it gives you life when you do that. For most people. Some people, they're just, they get the money and that's it. There's some greedy motherfuckers that exist. You know what I'm saying?
Bro. I can't.
But see, you want to know why? It's because they personalize it. You just said, I got blessed with all this fortune.
Yeah.
You didn't say, I made this fortune.
Fuck that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of these greedy people, they made it. They feel like I made this shit happen because I did it. So now it's like, I want to do it as much as I can. I want to do this as much as I possibly can.
And that...
It's a fucked thought process.
And that greed, that's what turns them into evil assholes.
Yeah.
There's no other way to say it. Is it okay to curse?
I've been doing it all the time. What the hell? If it's not, we're fucked.
I mean, I'm already like 10 cusses in, but let's just check.
Curse.
But honestly, and that frustrates me.
Yeah.
It really does, because There are people that do work harder than these people.
Yes.
And a lot of them are the people that work for them. That make them this fortune.
Right.
No matter how much they were able to make, they set a certain guideline, created a company. They were smart enough, yes, that's give them the credit.
Right.
But if you don't have a certain blessing, sometimes you don't succeed. Or you might succeed,
right.
but it's not going to last.
Sure. What's fast don't last.
Yeah.
Was faster. But back to your point, some people and money as well, greed, it does sway your gauge when you're reading people. Because if you got money and someone else that looks like they got money, you guys are just gonna start coming together and you're gonna forget about these other people.
Somebody else that looks like they have money or somebody else that has money. Because now when you said that, I really listen to words. Because sometimes people look like they have money.
Oh yeah, exactly. Those are flukes. But you're talking about just rich people getting together and leaving the ordinary Joe behind. Right. Am I correct? Yes. Mm-hmm. But in the same vein, it's like some people's gauges are already fucked up with that. Because think about it, to really to use your mind and to use your perception to find good people in a group, to get good people in a group with you, to be able to tell to read people, to tell what this person's interests are and this and that, and know that they align with yours, that's fucking hard to do. You got to do it wrong a bunch of times. You got to get burned a bunch. Yeah. Some people are born being able to do it, but DMX, R.I.P., he had
DMX, yep.
He had a great quote. You probably saw it. I think he was on Drink Champs when he said it. Or is that what it's called? Drink Champs?
They have Drink Champs, yeah.
Yeah. And he...
I didn't watch it, honestly. I've seen the sneak peek, but I never watched the whole thing. So tell me about it.
He has a great quote. He says, trust a snake to be a snake. Trust a liar to lie to you. But trust in yourself that you can see them well. You know what I'm saying? Like, be trusting. The initial thing was be trusting. But trust in yourself that you can pick those people out when you see them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and then if you do fuck with them for any reason, you already know he's a liar. Yeah. He's going to lie to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? At some point.
Yeah.
So it's a great quote.
That is a great quote. Yeah. He's seeing things for what it is, though.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Which some people, it's hard to do.
Oh, yeah.
They feed themselves a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm out of shape because of this reason. My mom has diabetes. Big fucking deal, buddy. Like, you don't yet. You can fix it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, I know an adult. His dad, I think, died of a heart attack.
Yes.
But sometimes it's hereditary. That's what they don't tell you.
It's in the genes.
It's in the genes.
Right.
Somebody's going to get it, especially if that person has kids. It's kind of like,
circulate.
Yeah, they're waiting to see. But his dad died of a heart attack, and so his whole goal in life was to never be out of shape and to never let himself get to a point where he's at risk of it. Still happened.
Wow. Just hereditary.
Hereditary.
Wow. Sometimes you can't fucking avoid it, no matter what you do. Yeah. But hope is the better option.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like Elon Musk, I keep going back to quotes and shit, but he talks about, like, all these crazy ideas that he has. I want to go here, and we want to colonize Mars, and I'm building these rockets that do this and that and all this shit. And the guy's like, but don't you think that's not good or whatever? Or do you think that you can make this all happen, make this progress all happen? And he's like, no, but I hope I can. And the guy's like, hope, that's it? And he's like, what's the other option?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to work with the intention that it's gonna help.
Happen. Right. Yeah. I like that. But when it comes to, I don't know how I feel about Elon Musk, to be honest with you.
Right. Well, he's a controversial guy.
Because if you're putting all this money in these programs, they think about the billions of dollars they're putting into the rovers, and now it's becoming a passenger thing. So it's like the astronauts did it, now the rich people can. And then when the rich people are like, oh, okay, now we're bored of this, let's let the commoners be able to do it now. That's fine.
Right.
You're putting all this money into something, but how about people that are hungry right now all over the world?
Right.
How about you helping towards that maybe? That serve a good purpose on earth here first before you try to set out somewhere else.
Now,
That's how I feel about that.
No, I feel you. But I do think, I will say this, that there probably are instances where these mega billionaires and millionaires and whatever do that. There probably is, and I'm not defending them. I think that they're filthy, disgusting, rich, soulless people. But at the same time, there probably are instances where they do that, but it's not in the media. Media doesn't cover it because who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? Who cares that they helped somebody?
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But, again, I agree with you. Jeff Bezos could press a button.
You telling me if every rich person threw a little something towards devastated places, even in America here, heck, never mind Africa, because they do sometimes lie to you when they're like, oh, for $1 a day you could feed this baby. Yeah. That money's not going
That's
to
not
that
going
child.
to anybody.
No.
Yeah.
So let's be honest about that. If you're going to give, why don't you actually go over there?
Right.
See the people you're giving to.
Yeah.
And earn those blessings from them. Because when those people pray for you, it means something.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you're telling me if every rich person, wherever they are, really got active in local communities. You're thinking about black communities here that don't have supermarkets. Like supermarkets that we have. We have Stop and Shop, 2 on Mineral Spring. We have one in the back roads here.
Right.
Within a stone throw.
Abundance.
Yeah. Over there, they lack that. You telling me if those rich people in maybe San Francisco, LA, whatever, threw in the local towards the local communities and helped them raise gardens more and actually open supermarkets there and hire the youth, you don't think crime will go down? You don't think that's helping a community? Just bringing jobs. Because a job means having pride in life.
Right.
You know what I mean? When somebody has a job, they have a purpose.
Especially when you come from a place where a lot of people don't have it.
Yeah.
And now you have the opportunity
to actually divert from that.
Yeah.
And make something of yourself, and do better things in life and maybe have a longer life because you don't have to be in the streets,
I've had this conversation before, and I think abundance breeds time for people to think about other things, right? They don't have to worry about day's necessities. They don't have to worry about food. They don't have to worry about housing. They don't have to worry about money. They're doing all right. That's abundance. Now they can think about other things. Example, rich kid, right? Rich ass kid. He's got everything paid for him. I'm going to go be a doctor. So now he can easily, without having to worry about anything else, without having to worry about paying for things, any of that stuff, he can go be a doctor. Easily. Get into a college. Dad knows everyone. And then you go to someone in an impoverished environment who they're wondering how they're going to eat tonight. They got to get paid. You know what I'm saying? They're not thinking about anything else. Sometimes. But then you get the diamond in the rough. They want to do this. They break off. They find a way. Some people just find a way. But for the majority, it's because they're set in an environment that set them to fail already. So now they're not only having to fight within themselves to get their goals to happen, they got to fight against their environment as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But I think if you're privileged and you forget about, even if you've never seen people that are suffering in life, right? But if you watch the commercial and you see poor people, it's a human thing. Right. There are people that are less blessed than you because sometimes when you're on the road, you see homeless people. Some of them are there because they might have some substance abuse issues or whatever's going on.
Yep.
We're human. We're not supposed to judge. If they want the help, give them, right? But what I'm saying is this. You're blessed. You're privileged. People have less.
Yes.
So if you're not doing maybe a little something to help, I think it's ignorant.
Right.
That's, you know what I mean?
Oh, no, I agree.
That's my other side of that.
Yeah,
And I like to see things from different perspectives.
Right.
That's why I love to have conversations. And when a conversation is turned into a fight, I walk away.
Oh, yeah.
And I never talk to that person again because then I'm mature enough to hear a different point of view without fighting it.
Right. They have a simple mind.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And those are dangerous individuals.
Especially in groups.
Yeah.
You get big groups of those people that refuse to even think for a second. They're this guy. They're this guy. They're not going to even think for a second.
Yep.
To even listen to what you're going to say to them. Mm-mm. So, you're right. They are dangerous people.
They are dangerous people. And so, I mean, to me, reverting back now again, because I like to I always go back on track.
Yeah, no,
maybe,
good. This is good.
You know, but
this is quality, people.
But it's important. Think about it. So if you see somebody on the street and you're wondering how is this person eating, you know, and so you hear about maybe they have local soup kitchens, you know. Let's say you're a son of somebody that owns Stop and Shop, and you know, at the end of the day, that has this dumpster in the back where there's food.
Oh yeah,
that these local soup kitchens could use.
Right. Don't throw it in the fucking dumpster.
Don't do that, Dad. You know, like let's. And it's not only helping the community. And nobody has to know. Like going back to how you have so many people that help and nobody knows about it.
Nobody knows, yeah.
He doesn't have to make a fuss about it. Don't bring the news. Don't bring the newspapers to earn more business.
Right.
No, fuck you for doing that. Actually,
yeah, 100%.
Because that's not being genuine.
It's the same way a corporation uses a movement as. You know what I'm saying? As fuel. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Putting Colin Kaepernick in a Nike commercial. They know who they're catering to.
Yeah.
They know people are going to say, whoa, wow, they're so woke.
You go into some crazy stuff.
They're so woke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They buy the sneakers. Every time. You know it, motherfucker.
Let's put Colin Kaepernick to the side.
Right.
Listen.
But you can do it with anyone. Ben & Jerry's does it all the time.
Yeah.
Ben & Jerry's, as much as I am pro as much as I'm, what am I trying to say here? I almost said this fucked up. As much as I am against police brutality.
Yeah.
1,000%. You're a fucking maniac if you're for that.
And I know cops, I should say.
Right.
Listen, they're there to do a job.
Sure.
They're human beings just like us. That's what I learned, right?
Right.
And I'm not defending police officers. And I know some of them, retired and current police officers. And I love them.
Right.
You know, they're good people.
Most of them are.
Most of them are. God bless them. And even this is where I'm leading to now, even they denounce the asshole cops.
Sure.
They denounce the asshole cops. When they see these violent videos, they get pissed just like we do.
Oh, yeah.
And definitely. They express it, you know.
100%.
But sometimes people are too blind to listen.
A lot of them feel that it should be more of a priority in the within, like police officers should be checking other police officers.
I think that should happen.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I had I don't know if you know him. I know you played for the Jets. I don't think he was a coach anymore. But Glenn Goldsboro.
I didn't have him then, but
right.
My buddy John DiMaggio always talks about it.
Me and him were on the same team. Me and John.
Okay.
And he was the nicest guy ever, but he was a retired police officer.
Shout out John DiMaggio.
Yeah, there we go. Flying planes and shit.
Yeah, no, the guy. Yeah, I love the guy. He's smart. Like I always tell him, he's smart.
That's hard.
He's an instructor.
Wow.
He actually teaches people now to fly planes. Imagine that, right?
Good for him.
Mm-hmm. Glenn Goldsboro.
Yeah, he was saying. I asked him the question. I brought it up to him, and I'm like, you know, he said, "Yeah, it should totally come from us. It's totally on us. It's totally on us. We should." So
he's a retired or current?
Retired.
Okay.
He's retired. He was a detective for Providence for like 20 years.
Oh wow,
long time.
So he definitely knows some people that I know.
Oh yeah, probably.
Okay,
probably. But he said it too. He's like, it should come from within.
It's important to do that to change the culture.
Right.
You know. And so, but when people are blinded by anger and fury, that diverts from the goal a lot of times.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Think about it. When you're angry,
You don't think right.
You don't think right.
You're
shit is flowing to your brain. Like
yes.
You got emotions. You're all mixed up.
Exactly.
When did you ever do this different? Like I've learned to handle things different ways in life.
Right.
I've approached things where I was a hothead.
Oh
and,
yeah.
You know, I would fuck up. I'd fuck shit up too, but
sure.
I'd fuck up. You know, you regret it. You know, you regret it. You're like, damn.
Right.
You know, but I've also been that guy where when things get hot, I'd walk away.
Right.
You know, I'm so grateful at the end for walking away because I come back clear-headed and let's talk about it like human beings.
Right.
You know, but
it's admirable. I was gonna say that's the guy that can do that. A person that can do that can just walk away. I had Ross Levine on here. Mm-hmm. He got 2019 Glory Kickboxing KO of the Year. Head kicked a guy, knocked him out. Badass motherfucker. He just fought a couple weeks ago, beat the shit out of some guy, and that dude told me a story of a time when he was in a bar and some girl bumped into him, and he said, "Oh, my bad, sorry." And the boyfriend came up, immediately assumed something was happening, and wanted to fight. And he's like, bro, like he literally just diffused the situation the way he told me the story. He's like, "Hey, you know, I'll get you a beer, calm down," and then I just walked away. That was it.
That's it.
And you know, you probably follow Jocko Willink. Jocko, do you know Jocko Willink? I think you know David Goggins.
What circle are we talking about?
All right, so on Instagram, they're pretty big on Instagram, both these guys. They're Navy SEALs, and they're known for being like incredibly disciplined. Like just hard guys. They were SEALs. David Goggins' story is crazy. He was overweight, like 320 pounds, hated his life, and then just lost a bunch of weight, went to the SEALs, and now he's just an animal. He's always posting videos. He's like, "Stop being a fucking bitch. Get up in the morning and do this and that." He's an animal. He's working all day. But Jocko's the same way. He says the same. He posts a picture of his watch every morning, 4:30 in the morning when he wakes up, 4 a.m., whatever. Sometimes it's like 3:45. He's like, "Starting early today." You're like, "God damn." And
he must go to bed at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, probably. But he says there's a video of him that's been going around where he's talking about. He's like, if you're a guy in the street and you're a big hulking guy and you want to fight me, I'm going to run away. I'm going to just run away because I don't know what you have with you, number one. Number two, why do I need to do this? Like, a whole bunch of things can go bad.
Yes.
I can knock you out, you fall, you sue me when you get up, or you fucking...
Well, aren't their hands registered weapons at the time then? If you're that much, if you're that good of a fighter.
Yeah.
You're talking about a fighter here, right?
Well, he's a SEAL, but he's like a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Like, he'll fuck you up. He's
got to be a registered weapon at this point.
Oh, easily. Yeah, in the public eye, totally. Guy walking around like that.
No, but like fighters like boxers. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm trying to say?
Well, yeah, pro fighters. They get
right,
registered and
but
shit. Yeah.
If you're not a pro, aren't you still registered sometimes if you have like a certain level of expertise?
It's like a ceremonious thing now.
Okay.
It's not so much like a legitimate thing anymore.
Okay.
Getting your shit signed. I knew guys when I used to train karate. It was old school. They'd give you, once you got your black belt, they'd actually give you like a registered card. But that shit's not even.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not even a thing anymore.
Oh, okay.
It's a myth now.
It's a myth now. Okay, I'm glad. Thank you for teaching me about that.
Yeah.
But exactly, that goes to show. Pride will kill you.
Oh. Quicker than anything else.
Pride will kill you.
Quicker than fast food.
Yeah, that's another issue, for another day.
Right.
But that's the thing, because I don't know the guys that you were referring to.
Right.
And that's because I don't go on Instagram.
Yeah.
Now clarify that. That's why I was like, huh?
That's good. That's a good thing.
Listen, I'm on Snapchat because it's more personal.
Yeah.
So I go there like here and there. Even that, like sometimes people send me messages and it's 2 days later. I'm like, oh, hello.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I'm here living life.
Right.
You know, I think living life as itself, is
more important.
It's not only more important, but shit, it's enough.
Yeah.
Like, why do I need to go on social media and see how Peter and Paul are doing?
Sure.
Fuck Peter and Paul.
Again, that's the theme. The name of this episode is going to be Fuck Peter and Paul.
Fuck Peter.
It's going to be great.
Peter's over here. He might be posing like, oh, life is going great.
Sure.
I'm over here in a private jet. Peter's fucking in debt,
Right. He spent a lot of money on that jet that he don't have.
Yeah, I don't need all that shit. I got to wake up and go to work and have a relation with my family and have people in my life, in real life, that I have to check up on, that would check up on me, that I call. That's lovely.
Sure.
To me, that's enough. So at the end of the day, when I'm tired, I don't want to, or when I'm doing something during the day on my break, I don't want to sit on Facebook.
Sure.
I want to call
somebody.
I want to call somebody. Hey man, how you doing today? Like, what's up? Like, I have some people that I talk to almost every day.
Right.
And I have some people that I talk to every once in a while, but over, during the course of a week, those calls will add up.
Right.
And so, to me, that's enough interaction because it's real life and it's more important than phone. I have a hate relationship with this.
Me
Not
too.
even a love-hate. It's a hate.
It's just hate. You just need it, but you're like, fuck.
And I fucking hate that we need it.
Yeah, no, I know. It is.
You
Because I always say it. If I wasn't doing this and I didn't need to promote shit on social media, I'd get rid of it.
Yeah.
Because it's sickening. You're on that motherfucker. And think about it. This is the first time in history, the social media era, the first time in history that we have so much insight to not only celebrities, which is crazy, but the people we know. If everybody you know is on social media, like, enough, you know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. Before, think about when you were a kid and you used to go to your buddy's house all the time, 3 times in a week, 4 times in a week. That was the closest you got to knowing that motherfucker's life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now we just know everything. There's no surprises.
Filter.
There's no nothing. You call somebody up. You're like, oh, I saw you there. Yeah, you talk about it for 2 seconds because you both know what happened. And it's like, all right.
Yeah.
And that's it. Now it's like, you don't ask anybody, what did you do yesterday? Because you know. Like, you know what the fuck happened.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? I actually ask people, well, what are you doing?
That's what I'm saying.
Because I'm not on social media. I don't know what the fuck. They always tell me, they're like, oh, did you hear about this shit? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You don't know? This person did this, and that. I'm like, well, I missed it.
Yeah.
Honest to God, he happens to me all the time.
Sure.
But I don't care. Because it's jibber jabber, like, I'm tired. If I'm tired, I want to nap. I want to maybe read a book. I want to do something.
What have you been reading? You reading something right now?
No, just don't put me on the spot, bro.
No. It's all good. I'm just asking because I'm like I've been reading the fuck out of books.
Oh, what are you reading?
Right now I'm reading The Richest Man in Babylon.
The Richest Man. What is it about?
It was a book. It's a personal finance book actually, but it was written in like the 1920s, right before the Great Depression.
Yes.
So, but it's still popular today because it's the way it's written. It's very simply put. He tells a story of people living in Babylon, the ancient fucking civilization.
Yeah.
And they were they were the richest nation at the time in early history, ancient history. They were the richest state, I guess you can call it.
Civilization.
Exactly. And so they had principles that we still use today. So this guy went ahead and told a fictional story with real life application. So it's been able for people to kind of grasp it. It's just like the Bible. The Bible has lessons and things, but it's piggybacked onto a story that gets you enveloped. Names, John, Luke, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It gives a context to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just started that yesterday.
Okay.
But I've been reading a lot of Albert Camus. I don't know if you're a philosophy guy.
Albert Camus is a French author, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
He was an author, but he was a philosopher as well.
Right,
yes.
right. I still yet have to learn about Albert Camus, but
interesting view on life. Very interesting view.
Yeah.
A lot of his stories that he writes, again, fictional stories, but they apply to real life emotions and feelings because his idea of life is that it's absurd. Everything we're doing is absurd. Right now, this conversation's absurd. Absurd, bullshit. Everything. Yes.
Yeah. It's all fucking bullshit.
But he describes life the way he talks about it, I forget the name of the guy, but it's a Greek mythology story. And I forget the guy's name, but it's a story about a god or a demigod, and his life is pushing a big boulder up a hill, gets to the top, and it rolls down. And he kind of equates life this way because the demigod is known in the presumption is that this is his life, so he almost does it with a smile. He's like, this is a crazy life. This is a crazy thing that I'm doing. Let me just enjoy it. Let me just do this shit and accept all the emotions and the weird shit that comes with it.
Right.
So he writes stories, he writes fiction novels that puts people in weird or gives them an absurdity that happens. So there was one about a guy who he was a teacher, but he lived very reserved. He lived by himself in his schoolhouse. People came in and left, the students, by himself, far away. And there was a revolution going on in the country. It was an Arab country. And he sees a guy coming that he knows. I forget his name, but he knows he's a bounty hunter, more or less. So he comes and he's bringing a prisoner that they captured from the other side that they're supposed to be against. And he's like, all right, I'm dropping this guy off here at this schoolhouse, and you're in charge of bringing him to the next town where he's going to get executed. And this guy's like, what? Why are you doing this? I don't have any stake in this. I don't know what, you know what I'm saying? I'm just whatever. And the guard's telling him, well, this is what happened. This is what I was told to do. This is the whatever. And then he doesn't really have any explanation. And now he has this refugee in his house or in his whatever. And it really dives deep into the emotions that this guy has to deal with. He's kind of with this guy. Yeah, because he's like, I don't know this guy. I don't necessarily have a
stake in
agenda with this person. I don't know if I feel comfortable even bringing him to that town to get him killed. But it's like, this is my country. This is my countrymen. I should be against this guy. You know what I'm saying? And it's a good kind of... It gives an insight into the mind, and that's what happens with a lot of his things. He has another one where he talks about it's a man who was a doctor, and he talks about how he used to live for all these things, women and living for this sense of achievement and accomplishment and all this stuff, and he realized something happened to him, and he realized that none of that shit mattered, so now he just lives as free as he can, doing whatever the fuck he wants. So it's just interesting. I read a lot of that shit.
I like the aspect of living in simplicity.
Yeah.
Goes back to when I was saying I'll be a millionaire on a bike.
Right.
Simplicity, So, and he goes back to this now. Simplicity teaches you to know sometimes when you have more than what you need, it's okay to give it to people because at the end of the day, you're going to be okay.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're rich. What do you have to worry about? You have more than enough. Is it going to kill you to take a good amount of that to give it to people that are in need? Right. You have a grocery store. It's shit that you're throwing away anyways.
Well,
right?
That's all.
Is it going to kill you to give it to the soup kitchen?
No, of course not. And that, with these corporations that do that shit, it's fucked, right? Like, I forget what it was. It might have been Abercrombie or whatever. They burn their clothes, the ones they don't sell.
My God.
Like, what the fuck is that? What kind of fucked up shit is that?
That is fucked up.
Like, who in the boardroom was like, all right, guys, these clothes, we're going to burn them all, not give them to anybody.
Just burn them.
Like, where's that come from? That's not even greed. That's just sinister. Like, that's just mean.
That is sinister.
That's just a bad thing to do.
Yeah,
it's not even greed at that point. It's just like, where does that stem from?
There are a lot of poor people that need clothing.
Exactly.
Have a clothing drive.
Yeah. Or just fucking
go to
go
local
somewhere
communities.
and drop them off.
Yeah, go to local communities, thrift stores even.
Yeah.
Take the tags off and drop. What do you have to lose?
Yeah.
Those people will be thankful that they have that shit.
Oh, hell yeah.
As crazy as that sounds, some of these ideas sound outrageous when we talk about it, but they're not.
No.
It's just looking out for other humans.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to, simply. I want to go back a little bit because and tell you about when we're talking about pride.
Sure.
The whole time I was thinking about my grandmother, may her soul rest in peace. And she used to get pissed when I'd fight. And as a kid, I had to learn how to fight. I was bullied.
Right.
So to me, it was the only way to fight him off. It was, now I have to learn how to kick some ass. And learn I did.
Right.
And
trial by fire.
No, exactly. Trial by fire. I've heard you say that before.
Yes.
But no matter, she didn't care whether I was right or not. She did not care that somebody started a fight with me. She did not care that they hit me first. she was pissed that I fought.
Right.
You know,
It gets you out of your character.
yes.
It's once you see it that way, once you see too much of an exertion of some emotion, you know that whatever caused that got you out of your character. And once you start to see that as a mental defeat, then it's like, all right, let's control this shit.
It takes a certain level of maturity to see that too.
Yes.
Not every person sees that. You know, we're not all at the maturity level to be like, yeah, this person just wants trouble.
Right.
And we'll just walk away.
Understanding as well. Understanding that this guy, maybe he had a fucking terrible day and he just wants to fight with somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or he had a terrible life. Even more of a, you know what I'm saying, understanding. Maybe he had an awful, beaten down life and he never got a, you know what I'm saying? And this day, he just wanted to argue with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That shit's true too.
Or he's just a fucking asshole.
Exactly.
You know?
He was born an asshole, had a lovely life, but was still an asshole.
Still an asshole.
Just wanted to fuck with you.
The motherfucker's miserable every day.
Right.
You know? Those people you just have to learn to avoid.
Yeah.
You know, and it's hard sometimes. Like, sometimes people pick a fight.
Yeah.
And those assholes have sometimes weapons on them. You know,
It's the people who
they have a knife to have a gun.
or they have some friends.
They might not be strong enough to fight alone. A lot of times they're not strong enough to fight alone. They can't take on, if it's one on one, they know they can't take you. Right. A lot of times that's why they have something to have the edge. Because if you know you can fight, you don't go in there with anything.
Sure.
Because especially if you know that person's going fist to fist, and if you're a man enough to take an ass whooping and be like, you know,
Not a lot of people are.
a lot of people are.
They aren't humble. Some people aren't humble.
No.
They have to win this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they'll smash
Yeah.
a bottle over your head.
And that brings devilish shit out of people.
Yeah.
Those people are not safe. Again, those people are not
Pride.
safe to be around. They're dangerous people.
Yes.
You know, and so it's just, it comes down to that. You know.
Also, a lot of the people, along with some of the other stuff we said, a lot of those people that start fights, that start and look for conflict, are people that don't have a real life expectation of what violence is, of what actual violence is capable of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody who trains, somebody who fights, somebody who grew up in an impoverished environment, someone who grew up in a rough, fucking hard place, they have a view. That's why you see a lot of martial artists, the right ones, the honorable ones. Most of them, really. You don't hear too many stories about guys out in the UFC fighting people in the real life. They happen sometimes, but most of them know that it's, you know what I'm saying? Bad shit could happen. Even though I know how to fight, like you said, this guy could have a weapon. He could have 3 friends around the corner waiting. He could have, you know what I'm saying? Anything could fucking happen. They stay away from that shit. Most of them do.
It's dangerous.
And the ones that don't are fucked up too. They're the ones who just learned how to fight. And again, dangerous people. We'll talk about dangerous people.
Well, those are usually the ones that don't have a long life too.
Yeah. That's
Get
true.
yourself killed that way.
Very true.
And that was her fear. And she always used to tell me a story about this young guy from our country. I'm from West Africa, Guinea.
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows.
Shout out. We might have
Right.
some people who download out there. Really? There's people fucking all over the place. It's weird.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. If they're watching, Onwali, bonjour, Guinea. I love you all. What up, Fama? So that's a little shout out.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. But she always used to tell me a story about this boy that was in the Middle East, one of the Middle Eastern countries, and he went to study. And he grew up, because in Africa you grow up fighting as a kid, but like it's not malicious. Nobody's gonna bring a knife at you. If you know, you just, we're kids. You know,
Right.
boys are gonna be boys.
Right.
Especially in a place like that, it's rowdy. That's just a culture, you know.
Sure.
Because I know friends here that have never gotten into fights. You know, when you're in a group circle, like a friend group in Africa, chances are you've all fought each other or something.
Right. Why do you think we're friends?
You beat the fuck out of each other first, you know. And the crazy thing is, when the fight starts, it's like a general rule. I don't get it, bro. It's like a general rule. When the fight breaks out, everybody clears, and you give them 2 minutes.
That's it.
That's it.
You get a 2-minute round.
You get a 2-minute round,
There
and
we
after
go.
2 minutes, it gets broken up, and crazy shit happens in 2 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it literally gives them an outlet for that time.
Yeah.
It's
It's enough
just like
not
boxing.
to kill each other.
Right.
but enough to just let it be known, right? I'm not gonna bully you. You're not gonna, or like, it's cool.
Right.
That's just how it was.
A lot of those, I mean, bro, I've said this before. A lot of those African cats fuck people up professionally. They all got like this natural athleticism. They all look like they can hit hard. All of them. Ngannou, obviously.
Ngannou, I love that guy.
Kamaru Usman.
Yes.
Smoking motherfuckers.
Adesanya.
Yes. Yeah, 3 champions.
Yeah.
3 champions, African-born champions.
Now, if you love fighting, do you watch European UFC?
Like MMA in Europe?
In
like
Europe,
leagues?
yeah.
Nah.
Okay.
Not super often.
I want to give you a name.
Yeah.
From my country, Luseni Keita.
Okay.
He just became champion. He's friends with
MMA champion.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's friends with my cousin out there in Belgium.
Okay.
This guy's a beast. You should look him up. Luseni Keita. Start watching his fights. He might cross over.
Right. Yeah.
Badass kid.
Is he a big kid?
I think he's like my height.
Okay.
And he's like, I think he's welterweight or something.
Like 170 maybe?
Yeah, around there.
Okay.
Yeah. My cousin was telling me he went to school with him. He was one of those kids where having that mentality from where I grew up. All the white kids that tried to get tough with him, they let him have it.
Right.
And whenever there was a kid in the neighborhood that thought they were the toughest, he would make sure to beat that kid's ass.
Yeah. Making a point.
That's how he did it.
Yeah.
Supremacy.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, my grandmother hated that. And so even when I'm going to fight, she'd be like, what did you gain from that? Did you make money?
No,
of
course not. Everybody said I was pretty cool.
Yeah. What was the point of that fight? And then she'd tell my ass up,
Yeah, of course.
But I learned that now more so than before, because now you hear about people getting shot down on the street.
Right.
You hear about people getting stabbed, sliced open. What is that all worth for?
Right.
Why are you hurting other humans that way? God didn't create us to take a life.
Right.
Why are you taking something you didn't create?
Extreme human behavior.
Extreme human behavior.
That's what it is. George Carlin has a bit that I talk about all the time. Mm-hmm. Do you know George Carlin, the comedian?
No.
I'm bringing up a lot of motherfuckers you don't know.
Yeah, bro. You know what? I know. Listen, I know a lot, but I don't know a lot.
Right. No, I feel you. No, he had a bit where he talks about extreme human behavior, things that we do as humans that some animals don't really do.
Yeah.
We're one of the few animals that kill their own kind. And then he just goes into he's a comedian, but he goes into other fucked up shit, cannibalism and necrophilia and all this fucked up nasty shit that animals don't do.
Yeah.
But it's like the idea of it is just this idea of extreme human behavior, shit that humans do that is just fucking crazy.
Ballistic.
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Ballistic.
Assassinations, shit that animals don't do. We're supposed to be more civilized.
Exactly.
We're not supposed to be beasts.
Right, exactly. We're actually worse than them.
Yeah.
Right? If you're religious, the religious folks say the devil has taken over the world right now. That's what they say. Listen, I'm not an extreme religious person.
Sure.
But I pray every day. And I love to keep in touch with my faith. It's very important to me. Okay?
Right.
To an extent, it's a lack of the reason why a lot of this is happening, this crazy things, crazy shit in life, is sometimes because maybe a lot of people are not, because having a religion is having a moral compass.
Sure.
It's a guidance in life. It's a goal, to set yourself up for something, and that's bigger than even if you didn't believe in the afterlife.
Right.
It's just the fact of doing something for the betterment of us, leaving something good, for the people that are, because life is for the living.
Right.
When we die, this will leave, somebody might be able to use this shirt, this ring, maybe it might go to my brother or something, the watch, it's material things.
It's all going to get made into something else.
That's why.
Or disintegrate and be gone.
Exactly. So it's going to be repurposed. Like we don't go, like we come into this world naked, we leave naked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Except for the fly ass suit they give you when you're in that coffin.
Well, me, in my case, it's a long white cloth and I'm naked underneath.
Naked. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, man. Being Muslim, yeah.
Really? That's what they do?
Yeah. They wrap you in a white cloth. I think it's like 7 meters, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's a beautiful process.
Right.
You know, and that was part of my growth. I saw somebody get buried, bro.
Sure.
You know, like sometimes you take when you have a mature in life, you don't see things in different ways. You know what I mean? Like when you're a kid, let me be a little more specific. When you're a kid,
right,
you fight with everybody, right? You're angry all the time. You're mad at life. You're mad at your parents. You know, you're always pissed at something. You're always making an excuse. You're angry about something.
Sure.
But when you've experienced loss and pain and you've wisened up, every experience is 10 times what you watch. Like you see things in 10 different lenses. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like everything you encounter, every encounter in life has a meaning. You know, good or bad.
You have to take something from it.
Because you're learning from it.
Yes.
And that's the whole key, is that wisening up is learning, right? You're learning from going back to the very beginning, history. Is learning from this 80-year-old man, Ismail, that you met, his life was very interesting. And you sat down for a couple of days just running into him. And you're spending hours just listening to him.
Right.
You know, or it's some old lady that you just run into. You know, maybe you're like in the supermarket and you just spark a conversation. You know, as crazy as that sounds, we don't have a lot of that nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why we're further away from being more human. I feel like the pandemic did bring that.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of us having to check up on each other.
Well, think about it. You can, on Uber, you can actually, there's a fucking setting that says no talk. Like there's a setting that
I never saw that.
It allows you, I mean, kind of new. I mean, not like crazy.
I've been riding Uber for a while.
Yeah. I think maybe some cars, it depends on their account.
Okay.
Maybe they put that on. Maybe it's an option for them too. Mm-hmm. They don't want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Same shit, no talking.
This is the driver you're talking about?
The driver, yeah.
Wow.
But I'm saying they'll do something in their account allowing you to say no talking, thinking in their head, all right, this motherfucker won't talk to me. They have the option, you know?
Yeah. No, but I'm the reason why I'm like grasping this because no talk. Like sometimes I do get in Ubers and I don't talk because like I don't feel like the driver is open to it.
Sure.
But I've gotten in some Ubers and like we've had the greatest of conversations.
Right.
And I've taken a lot away from it. You know, like okay, we're gonna go a little bit back to religion. I got into an Uber once. I was living in Jacksonville for a while, right?
Right.
And I'd get home at midnight. So at midnight, I'll close the gas station that I worked at, and I'll call an Uber to go home. And so as the lady pulls up, you know, super nice young lady, I get in the back, sit down, you know, hello, how you doing? We get into introducing each other. We talk. And she's telling me her story. And she's like, yeah, my boyfriend just broke up with me and I just had a miscarriage, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Wow.
It was some crazy shit. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm sorry about this, you know, like, and we're talking about religion.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, yeah, but, you know, God has a, you know, like she was throughout the whole thing, she was just very strong.
Yeah.
And she had an unwavering faith. You know, everything happens for a reason. I truly believe in that.
Sure.
And she was, you know, and I said that to her. And she's like, you know, I agree. And she got to talking about faith. And I told her, I said, yeah, I'm Muslim. She was like, and I drew her off. She's like, aren't you guys like terrorists?
Oh, shit. What the fuck?
Shit, again. I'm like,
not
no.
all of us.
I'm like, no. She was like, you guys believe in it. She was completely wrong.
Yeah.
But that's the information she was fed.
Right.
You know, and I explained to her, I'm like, no. I'm like, Islam is all about love. You know, like a true Muslim is supposed to practice love. We denounce ISIS. We denounce
Groups, extreme groups.
Extremists.
Any extreme group in any religion is fucking nuts. It doesn't matter which one.
Yeah.
All of them.
All of them.
There's extreme Christians. There's all that shit.
Exactly.
Israel, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's all anybody that takes the shit.
I heard one of your conversation about this. It was with Nate Morera.
Yeah. Shout out Nate.
Shout out Nate. Yeah.
But yeah, they any extreme group. And the people who follow the religion, they'll all say that's bullshit. Fuck those people. But they draw a bad name, especially in a country that the country we live in highlights that part of their culture. Why would we have any reason to talk about real Muslim stuff? You know what I'm saying? In the media's eyes. Why would we ever talk about that?
Yeah.
No, that doesn't sell. Only people going to watch that are people who care about it.
Exactly. What did your buddy tell you about that conversation? Like about what he learned about Islam? Did you take away anything from your conversation between the two of you?
Me and
your Irish bud, Scottish friend that studied Islamic.
Right. Well, he studied it because he thought a lot of the stuff was interesting. The ideals and stuff. Yes, he talks about that. He likes all that stuff. You take good stuff from everywhere, but he loved that they were like an ancient civilization with a lot of gold and a lot of like fucking, I don't know. He was really interested in the crazy
wealthy
stuff.
Merchants,
Yes.
spice traders.
Right.
Yeah. So he's talking about the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, his time?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, he's spoken about, different emperors, the Ottoman Empire and all that stuff.
Oh, okay. So he's really that whole timeline of the Fertile Crescent.
Sure.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah. No, but okay. So this girl, anyways, and we had an interesting conversation where I was telling her stories that were in the Bible and in the Quran. And she was like, oh, really?
I know that story, yeah.
Yeah. And she was like, oh, I never knew. I'm sorry. And she was like, she got very apologetic. I'm like, no. It's all cool. I'm like, these are informations that they don't tell you about.
Sure.
These are things that they do not teach you properly about.
Right.
To an extent, is it your job to maybe do your research if you're curious about certain things? Yeah.
Sure.
That's why you're telling me about a lot of people, and I'm not trying to offend you, but you're telling me about a lot of people that I don't know.
Right.
Because like, that's your interest.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? We all have different interests, like I'm a big fan of history, music, documentaries.
Right.
Like you watch documentaries?
Yeah. I mean, I forgot the last one I saw. I haven't seen one in a while. There's a good Frank Sinatra one that I guess is out. I haven't seen it yet.
Do you recommend?
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No, but supposedly it's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, I like documentaries. Preferred a lot of the time, I like to read a biography, which is kind of like a documentary. It's just a book. But if I'm picking a book like a biography, I'll go for. You know what I'm saying? I like that shit.
The last book that I read, A Man of Good Hope.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. It's been like, I put it down like a few months ago.
Sure.
It's about a Somali refugee. His dad was part of the government. They were part of the aristocracy that ran the country.
Right.
But okay, this is the problem now we have in Africa, is that countries are very tribalistic. Now think about this. When the European went down there, or when they had their meetings before they went down there and split up Africa amongst themselves, oh, French, you're going to have this.
Yes.
England, you're going to have this. This. When they did that, what they did was they broke up not only empires, villages, but families. You know what I mean? So you find that there's this talk about two different races. They're very popular races. The Fula races, they're from West Africa. They're a nomadic race. You find them anywhere. They're in Nigeria. They're in Guinea. They're in Senegal, Mali, Ivory Coast, Liberia, Sierra Leone. Mandingos, the same thing. All over West Africa.
Right.
That empire in West Africa, the Royal Manding, was one of the biggest in Africa, or like in history. It stretched from like cornered from the border, which is my country, Guinea, up to, if you're familiar with Africa's map, Nigeria, up to maybe around Nigeria, Mali, Mauritania.
Okay.
If you look at West Africa, it was a huge empire.
Sure.
But the point of this is when they broke up these countries and they drew the lines amongst them, they broke up these tribes. And now you have different tribes that would interact, but now they're a country, right? They're forced to actually form a government,
right,
and have a functioning society as a country, because that's what their borders are. Never mind their counterparts in Mali who have to worry about their own things. We're getting too close. Now, when, let's say, a Fulani person takes power, right? They want other Fulanis around them to run the country. Now the other races are excluded. Now you're talking about 100 races sometimes in one country. That's going to create some conflict.
Oh, hell yeah.
And that's the basis of a lot of conflict in Africa right now. You know?
Sure.
So going back to the book, the boy, his dad was the ruling, how do you say this? The ruling race, or the ruling tribe, the Ali Yusufs. And so they have a coup. A rebellion comes and they kill all the leading people of that race. The government, they gets uprooted. They killed, men, women, like they were shooting people left and right. You know, and this is a true story. I think it was a genocide or something. It was a war in Somalia. So he runs away, and his mom gets killed in front of him. He was a kid. His dad loses sight of his dad. He doesn't know where he is. His siblings get killed. So he finds his uncle, and they run away to the neighboring Ethiopia. And on the way to Ethiopia, his uncle gets killed. Now he's alone. Now, people from his tribe, how they function though, they're a big family. That's really how it is in the village in Africa, is that a lot of times you're related to people that are in the village, you know, a lot of the neighbors, our family. And so everybody takes care of each other's kids. Everybody takes care of each other. If you're hungry, well, you have a cousin down the street. Just go and eat, you know, you're hungry.
Sure.
You know, they'll feed you.
Community.
And so another member of his community takes him and brings him across the border. And they find one of his third closest cousins, and he's with her. And so he takes him through that passage. He goes to Ethiopia, goes a little around Ethiopia. A few of his friends die, and he winds up in South Africa. And that's where the peak of his story is, you know, because by the time he gets to South Africa, he finds his uncle, and he's married and all that. I don't want to ruin the book for you, but it's a very good book. I'll give it to you maybe if you want to read it.
Yeah.
So throughout the book, there's a first-hand account, and then there's an account of the author talking to the boy.
Right.
You know, he's talking to the boy like we are now, but he's writing his story and then putting it in the book.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm always interested in a story about an extraordinary human who does some shit like that and makes it out of some shit like that. We were just talking about Francis Ngannou.
Yeah.
You've heard his story.
Homeless.
And worse than that, like, did you hear him on Joe Rogan by any chance?
I didn't hear him on Joe Rogan.
All right. So he tells his whole story.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking crazy.
I'm gonna watch it.
I'll do my best because he tells it obviously way better. Mm-hmm. But he was a child and in Cameroon, and his whole village, they all worked in sand mines from the time they were children on the way up. Mm-hmm. Their whole life, you work in a fucking sand mine. So more or less, that's your options out there. Mm-hmm. There might have been other ones, but to him, where he came from specifically, everybody works in the sand mine. So he's working there as a child, and he gets to his teens, like 17, 18, 19, and he starts thinking, there might be more than this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There might be like, I could go do something else. There might be more to this. And he decides, he's like, all right, I want to box. So I got to get to England. Mm-hmm. That's the closest place I can get to, you know, and they have a huge boxing scene. So he's like, I'm going to get to England. I don't know how, but that's what I'm going to do. So he sets out kind of a road map in his head, what he's going to do, but he really, it's who knows what the fuck he's going to do.
Right.
So in those countries, he leaves his whole family, leaves everybody. In those, in those countries, a lot of them are hard to get past the borders.
Yes.
Military, heavy, you can't do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So to get from Cameroon to, I think he was trying to get to Morocco.
Mm-hmm.
He was living out in the woods with a bunch of other refugees that were trying to escape, living out in the woods with them for like months and months and months. Like it could have been 6 to 8 months just out there living somehow. And he tried getting over the border 7 or 8 times. And the way he describes it, it makes it sound like it's damn near impossible. There's 3 barbed wire covered, fences you got to climb. And in each one there's guards and this and that. And it's like, how is he ever going to do it? And he does it. I guess he tackles a guard or some shit and fucks him up. He got the times because he tried it so many times. And he was there for 6 to 8 months watching and trying to figure out a way. Uh-huh. And he's like, all right, at this time, the other guard's back is turned or he's all the way over there when they're walking, whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's only one of them and the light's off.
Now,
and
this is getting out of Cameroon?
Yes.
Okay.
Into Morocco, I want to say.
Oh, getting into Morocco.
Getting into Morocco.
Okay.
And he fucking, he times it. He has to time it right. And he tackles the guard and he gets out and him and a couple other guys, they get out and they make it. They make it to Morocco. And he said that was only the fucking beginning because he was stuck in Morocco for 14 months. And he had to get a boat, like a raft, like a little dinghy, so he could get to Spain, Gibraltar and shit. Mm-hmm. So he tried that a bunch of times because there was no way he was going to, get any kind of visa or anything in Morocco. He said it was really, really strict there. Like the process there is hard and it's strict. So again, living on his own with whatever refugees he's with.
They make everything hard for people. Morocco is a very racist country.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They call us Black Africa. They don't see themselves as part of us a lot of them. I'm not saying all of them are.
Sure.
A lot of them are. Now, even if you're trying to marry a Moroccan woman, you got to prove that you can support her 10 times over. Right. Just because the skin of your color sometimes.
Yeah.
They make it hard for you. But going back to you.
Yeah, well, it's testament to what you said. He said it was there was nothing he could do. So all he could do was get into a raft and go into the fucking Atlantic Ocean from Morocco to Spain. And he tried it a bunch of times. 2 guys died. He's living on whatever. Mm-hmm. Then he gets to Spain eventually. Then he gets to France because he can speak French and whatever else.
Right.
And now he's homeless. This is the best case, though, considering what he came from.
He's already in France, right?
He's in France. And then now he starts trying things. I'm going to go to a boxing gym. He starts boxing. The guy's like, whatever, try MMA. Starts MMA, does whatever the fuck he does, knocking people the fuck out, heavyweight champion of the world. The rest is history. Wow. Crazy fucking story. You got to listen to that podcast. It's
I will.
Listen to it on the ride home. That motherfucker's 4 hours.
Wow.
And it's just him talking. And he speaks very well. Yeah. For a guy who gets punched in the head and, a guy with a thick accent, he does speak very well.
Yeah. No, he's very smart.
Yeah.
He's very smart. Yeah. That's crazy. Ngannou. Yeah. I'm a big fan of that guy.
Yeah.
He's a beast, though.
Anytime you have a story like that, I'm willing to listen.
Yeah.
Because it's a testament to what the mind can do, and it's a testament to what a human can do when they're faced with a real dire situation.
Yeah.
This has to work. Mm-hmm. And it's not just, Francis Ngannou trekking across 4 countries and die. It's not just that. Mm-mm. You know what I'm saying? It's other things.
Ordinary people just having goals
to
just get out of poverty.
Yeah.
Poverty, I'm saying. What am I saying? Proverbs. Poverty.
Proverbs.
Yeah. Proverbs.
Yeah.
No, just ordinary people having goals to get out of poverty.
Yeah.
Maybe hey, I heard this story about a pharmaceutical company in Greece.
Yep.
This guy at the diner I go to in Douglas, he was telling me about it. The guy's father delivered medication for this company.
Right.
The company was small, but they had a very big business. And this guy, he had a little motorcycle, old man, and he, for years, just rode for them. And they would make fun of him, oh, maybe one day you own the company, huh? But he did it for 40 years. He would save most of his money.
Yeah.
He would do what he can to multiply, but he would save. And by the time his kids were old enough to actually like help him maybe like run a company.
Yeah.
He bought it. He bought the company he worked for.
Right.
And what his son did, when they renovated the building, he put that motorcycle that his father used for 40 years delivering to buy that company.
Sure.
In the middle of the courtyard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
That's exactly what you should do.
You know, that exactly.
But you're right. It's a story like that. Motherfucker worked for them for a long ass time, switched that shit around. He's like, I'll buy this bitch.
Yeah.
Thanks for the money.
Yeah, right. I take it.
Yeah.
Shit. But like that goes to show the human spirit sometimes.
Right.
You know, like some
amazing
people who work, huh?
Said it's amazing to watch.
It's absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, you see people come out of crazy shit. Like, have you ever talked to like any refugees, maybe from like war-torn countries?
No, I haven't.
Whenever you get a chance, give them time.
Yeah.
Give them time. Even if it's a one-on-one, like you run into some, just talk to them. There's a lot you can learn. When I was, I want to say a boy, because I was around 12, I met a kid in my country, because I came here a year later, 13. I met a kid in my country who watched his brother get shot down.
Damn.
It was him, his mother, his sister, and his mother, father, sister, brother, mother.
Whole bunch of people.
Mother, father. I'm sorry. Mother, father, him, sister, brother.
Right.
His brother was older than him.
Gotcha.
And this was a long time ago, so I'm a little foggy. And what had happened was they were recruiting child soldiers at the time. And they picked him. And so his family, they were running away. He was lagging behind.
Right.
So they captured him and they were going to use him as a child soldier. His brother ran back and fought back. And he said, no. He said, you're not taking it. He said, fuck that.
Yeah.
As he was fighting them, he got their attention. He ran to his parents, the rest of his family, and they shot his brother.
Right.
And that was a very, it was a marking point in his life.
Oh yeah. You know, I'm getting fucking anxiety and chills just thinking about it.
It's something that he relives.
Yeah.
You know, and cool guy, Jabril.
Yeah.
That was his name. Cool guy. It's crazy that I'm thinking about him now, you know. And we had my grandfather, we're not rich, I'm not saying we're rich, we had a maid.
Sure.
She, may her soul rest in peace too, she passed. Kadi, she was from Liberia. Kind lady. But she ended up in our country alone because all her family got killed. You know, and she the kindest person you can meet. And it's sometimes people like that have nothing, that are the nicest people you can meet.
That's what they have.
They've experienced pain.
Yeah.
They know what it's like to be dealt pain, and they don't want to deal it to other people.
Right.
So the best thing they have on their side is compassion. And that's from a genuine side of them too.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Because like you said, a lot of those people don't have much in terms of material, but in terms of everything else, they're rich.
Yeah.
They have, you know, plenty of love and compassion and all that shit. That's why the nicest people come from some of the humblest places. Like, again, God willing, you become a millionaire. You come from a very humble place. Mm-hmm. Nice people around you. Your grandmother cared about you clearly. So
I love that lady, man.
Oh, yeah. Grandmas know everything. Grandma, you listen to grandma every motherfucking time.
Oh, man. I love my grandma, yo. Oh, still love her. I pray for her every day. Because some people don't know them.
Right. Some people
don't know their grandparents, honestly. So, like, when they pass away, they're just like, you know, it was old.
Yeah, it was old.
Like, what do you mean? That was your grandfather, grandma. Like, it was old, you know.
No, my grandfather passed when I was in high school. And I think about him all the time. I mean, all the time. All the time. I had a dream with him one time that I woke up, I was happy as a motherfucker. Because I saw him. You know what I'm saying? You see him again.
Yeah.
And dreams, they feel real like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
So I was like, shit. No. How the fuck you doing? How's heaven up there, motherfucker?
Yeah. That's awesome.
But yeah, so, and also, it's the only funeral I've ever been to. So I think that it being the first one and the only one really, it's special. You know, if you're gonna go to a funeral, whatever your first funeral is, have it be someone. Yeah, it's not like you have the choice, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
God,
you know what I'm saying?
That's crazy shit. You don't have to be somewhere. You don't want anybody in your life to die.
Right.
You know, so
right. But it's a little better to be with, you know what I'm saying? Someone that was with you, family. You know what I'm saying? Family for real.
Yeah,
so
that's always the answer.
Yeah, I think my point was that like funerals suck already. They fucking blow.
Yeah, they do.
But at least if you can see your family one more time.
I get sad, but like it's the circle of life.
Yeah, it's part
There's
of life.
something to take away from that.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about, you take away from every experience, right? There's something to take away from that.
Yeah.
You know, and her passing did something to me in a good way. Like I was broken and I had to heal.
Sure.
But our last conversation, she was telling me, make sure you pray. Like she was very religious. She was like, whatever you do, remember you used to, she reminded me of like when I was a kid, how I used to be with her all the time.
Right.
I would always do we didn't live far from a mosque. It was around the corner. So you would hear the prayer calling, you know, and whenever I heard that, I'd do my wudu and I'd run to the mosque and I'd pray, you know, and that was fun to me. You know, my first Arabic teacher, my first teacher of the Quran, I found him myself. You know, I went out seeking for one because I wanted to learn about the Quran, you know, and I was curious about it. You know, that was a good part of my childhood. Sometimes I think about that, you know, and so she brought me back to that moment in our last conversation. Yeah. And she left me with that message. She was like, you know, you make sure you stay religious and you be good, you know. And it's like she knew, you know. And once she passed, that stayed with me. Sure. You know, that stayed with me. And it's still with me today. And I hope that it's with me until God calls me back home. That's right. You know what I mean? Because in the Quran, they say this is not the end all be all. Right. You know, it's when we get up there. Yeah, we go back from whence we came. Yeah. Yeah. And that humbling experience for me was I was telling you earlier, I saw somebody get buried. It was my uncle's, one of his very good friends. Yeah. His father came from Africa to seek treatment. He was sick. Ended up passing here. And so he got buried here. Right. This was when I was in Jacksonville. Man, that did something to me. Think about it. Yeah. You know, when they put in the ash on your head. I used to go to church even though I'm a Muslim kid. Sure. I just love religion. Yeah. When they put in the ash on your head on Ash Wednesday, right? And they say something. I remember in French, it used to mean directly, you come from ashes, go back to ash. Right. From ash to ash, something like that, right? Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Is that what? No, I don't think that's what he said. Sounds like Cinderella. We'll have to double check that. Sure. But but the religious people that may watch this may know what I'm talking about, but it's something like you come from like ashes and you go back to, you know, like we come with nothing. As I was saying earlier, we'll leave with nothing. Right. So think about it. When you're rich, you earn this shit here, but you're not going to take it with you. Hell no. Your kids and grandkids are going to be rich forever. Even if you take a tier of that and give it away to people that are going to be in need, right? Give that shit away. No, but like not in a condescending term even. No, but just I agree. Be like, it's important. This isn't... it's a big way of earning blessings in life. Right. It really is, dude. You know, but you were saying, I want to hear what. No, I was just going to say, this isn't ancient Egypt. You don't get buried with all your riches. Nah, fuck that. And then they loot you anyways. You know? Exactly. That shit's all gone. Yeah. Or you're going to have a spiritual boat in heaven with all your gold. Yeah, exactly. No, you don't take that shit with you, you know. And so, like, there's a morale in that. Right. You know, so when you follow religion, it's that moral compass you have, you know. It's a way of life. But revert me back. I kind of lost track of what I was saying before I got into this. So do I. But either way,
We've been going for a little bit, bro. This is good.
Wow.
But what's on the horizon for you, sir? I'm trying to wrap this motherfucker up.
Yeah. We're going to wrap this motherfucker up.
I love the conversation, though. This has been great.
No, I do love the conversation.
Especially since we haven't like seen each other in a little bit. So it's like refreshed.
There's so much to talk about.
Exactly.
So much to talk. I know, but what's on the horizon for me?
Anything
you
good?
have to wait and see. Anything good? I'm just living life, bro.
Yeah. Take it day by day. Who knows?
Take it day by day.
That was a stupid question. I apologize.
No, it's not a stupid question.
Right. No, if someone asked me that shit, I'd be like, I don't fucking know. What do you mean?
No, that's life. I understand, but I'm doing good. You know, thank God, I'm healthy.
Sure.
Mentally, emotionally, spiritually. My family is good. How about you? Are you healthy? Are you good? How's your family?
Oh, I think everything's lovely.
Yeah?
That's my default answer. So I could be telling the truth, maybe not. No, I'm just fucking with you. Okay. No, man, everything's good. I'm working on this. This is my big, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This shit here is my big thing. So I'm working on this. I'm working on some other stuff, some secret stuff. I'm not going to say on live right now. I'll tell you after.
But listen,
they know it's a secret too.
I have to be under your tutelage soon.
Right.
You know that. I'm putting you on the spot now. Antonio said he's gonna be my tutor.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we were talking about maybe you'll end up doing something like this.
We had a phone conversation about that.
Yeah.
We'll call you some more sometime again.
Yeah. Whenever I'm saying I'm here.
Okay.
So I'm here. I give you. Like I said, we were talking about spreading the wealth. That's not just monetary. It's fucking knowledge too. Anybody that doesn't spit you game, get him away from you.
Get him away from you. You know what I mean?
I saw a thing with Nipsey Hussle today. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle.
He was talking about. He's like, I always shared my knowledge, and some guys took it and ran with it and surpassed me. I never hated on them. Some guys took it, didn't listen to it. At least I told you. Yes.
That was their destiny.
Right. And you were there to tell them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It could be the best decision you make.
And those people will always hold you to a high regard.
Right.
Because you blessed them with enough knowledge for them to make it. You see, he led them to water.
Sure.
But they drank that water. He thought
they didn't.
Yeah.
Some of them might
you
not.
can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it, right?
Exactly.
That's like showing an opportunity to somebody.
Yeah.
And they don't take advantage of it. Rather versus, or if you like this one better, teaching them how to fish.
Sure.
He taught them how to fish.
Only thing you get in life, only thing that's given you in life is an opportunity. Life is an opportunity in itself.
We should always be fishing, sir.
Goddamn right. Diaby. Mohamed, my friend, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
All right, people. Thank you all for listening. We're done. I'm going to speak to y'all on Monday. Deuces.